Hello, my friends, and welcome once again to English Uncovered. I'm Peter, and in today's episode, we are going to explore a topic that may seem simple at first glance, but is actually one of the most powerful tools for communication: small talk. Those short, light, and friendly conversations that we use every single day, sometimes without even noticing. Think about this. Whenever you meet someone at work, step into a shop, walk into the gym, or even when you're waiting in line at the supermarket, there's often that small moment of connection. It may just be a smile, a simple comment about the weather, or a quick, "How are you today?" But these little moments are what make conversations flow naturally. And that's exactly what small talk is. Those everyday phrases that help us break the silence, connect with others, and show friendliness in an easy and natural way. In this episode, I'm going to share with you not just the meaning of small talk, but also why it matters so much, and how you can begin using it right away in your daily life. I've prepared 100 practical and useful small talk starters for you, so by the end of this podcast, you'll have a rich set of phrases you can use confidently whenever you want to start a conversation. My goal is to make sure you not only understand what small talk is, but also feel ready to use it in real-life situations, whether at work, school, on the bus, or even with strangers you meet on the street. As always here on English Uncovered, I will be speaking slowly and clearly, repeating key ideas along the way so you can follow every step without stress. We'll take it nice and easy, step by step, and for each phrase, I'll give you a short explanation along with an example from daily life. You'll also get the chance to repeat after me so that you can practice pronunciation and rhythm as if we were in the same room practicing together. So, let's get started. First, let's ask the essential question. What exactly is small talk? Small talk is nothing more than those quick, casual conversations we have every day. It's not about deep or complex subjects. It's about friendliness, about creating a comfortable atmosphere. Imagine someone saying to you in the morning, "Beautiful weather today, isn't it?" Or, "How was your weekend?" These short lines don't demand long answers, but they immediately build a sense of connection. We encounter small talk in all kinds of places: at the office when greeting a colleague, at school with a classmate, when paying for groceries, while exercising at the gym, or even when we find ourselves sitting next to someone on a train. It's an everyday habit, almost like a social glue that keeps interactions pleasant and smooth. Small talk softens the silence, opens the door to further conversation, and shows interest in the other person in a very simple but effective way. And here's something important. You don't need to worry about using perfect grammar or long, complicated sentences. Small talk isn't about being formal or academic. It's about being approachable, friendly, and natural. Simple questions, light comments, or a few words of interest are more than enough. Today we're going to focus on giving you 100 ready-to-use phrases that will help you break the ice, start conversations confidently, and feel more at ease speaking English in everyday situations. So get comfortable, follow along carefully, and let's dive into the world of small talk together. Let's begin with one of the most classic and universal topics for small talk: the weather. It may seem simple, but it's actually one of the easiest and most natural ways to start a conversation with anyone,
anywhere. The weather is something we all share, something that affects each of us daily. And for that reason, everybody usually has something to say about it. That's why talking about the weather is such a safe and friendly entry point when you want to break the ice. In this part of our lesson, I'm going to show you 10 very natural small talk starters related to the weather. For each one, I'll explain what it means, when you can use it, and then I'll give you a moment to repeat after me so you can practice both pronunciation and rhythm. The more you repeat, the more natural these phrases will feel on your tongue. So, let's get started. The first phrase is, "Lovely day, isn't it?" This is a cheerful comment that you can use when the weather is bright, warm, and pleasant. Imagine a sunny morning where the sky is clear and the temperature feels comfortable. You see your neighbor watering the plants, or maybe you're passing someone in the park. A simple line like, "Lovely day, isn't it?" instantly creates a friendly connection. Now, let's practice together. Repeat after me. Lovely day, isn't it? Excellent. The second phrase is, "It's really cold today." This is perfect for those chilly mornings when you step outside and feel the crisp air, or perhaps when winter is in full swing and everyone is bundled up in scarves and coats. It's a simple way to connect with people waiting at the bus stop, colleagues entering the office, or even the cashier at the supermarket. By sharing that moment of, "Brr, it's cold," you create an instant bond because everyone feels it. Repeat with me. It's really cold today. Now for the third one. Looks like it might rain. We use this when the clouds gather and the sky looks heavy, as if rain is just around the corner. Maybe you're standing outside, waiting with a group of people, or you're talking with someone at the doorway while you both watch the sky. A quick comment like, "Looks like it might rain," is easy, friendly, and relatable. Repeat after me. Looks like it might rain. Very good. The fourth phrase is, "Can you believe this heat?" This is what you say on those hot, sticky days when the sun feels almost unbearable. For example, you might say this while buying a cold drink at a cafe or while walking with a colleague during lunch break. It's light, it's expressive, and it opens the door to more conversation. Say it with me. Can you believe this heat? Number 5. It's been raining all week. This is a phrase that works perfectly when the rain just doesn't seem to stop. Imagine walking into the office after several gray, wet days in a row. Everyone's tired of carrying umbrellas, wearing boots, and dodging puddles. A comment like, "It's been raining all week," is almost guaranteed to get a nod of agreement and perhaps even a laugh. Now you repeat. It's been raining all week. The sixth phrase is, "Such strange weather lately." We say this when the weather has been unpredictable. One day it's hot and sunny, the next day it's cloudy and cold, and even snow appears out of nowhere. It's the kind of small talk everyone can relate to, because sudden changes in the weather always get noticed. It's light, it's neutral, and an easy way to start chatting. Repeat after me. Such strange weather lately. Perfect. And now the seventh phrase. Finally, some sunshine. This one carries a tone of relief and happiness. After a long stretch of cloudy or rainy days, that first moment when the sun comes out feels uplifting. Maybe you're walking to work and see the bright light breaking through the clouds, or you're meeting a friend after several gloomy days. Saying, "Finally, some sunshine," shares your positive mood with the other person and invites them to smile along with you. Say it with me now. Finally, some sunshine.
Now, let's continue with a few more expressions about the weather, because honestly, weather is such an easy door into conversation that you can never have too many phrases ready. The next phrase is, It's freezing out there. We use this when the temperature is extremely low, so cold that it almost bites your skin the moment you step outside. Picture yourself coming into the office with red cheeks and cold hands after walking through icy streets. You shake off your coat, and as you see a colleague, you say with a little laugh, "It's freezing out there." It's simple, but immediately relatable because everyone who has just come inside feels the same thing. Let's practice it together. It's freezing out there. The following phrase is, "Feels like spring is coming." This one carries a much warmer, hopeful tone. After months of heavy jackets and cold mornings, there's that first day when the air feels lighter, the sun shines a little brighter, and perhaps you even notice a few flowers starting to bloom. That's when you can smile and say, "Feels like spring is coming." It's a wonderful phrase to start a cheerful conversation, full of positivity, and it makes the other person feel the same sense of optimism. Now repeat after me, "Feels like spring is coming." And finally, here's the last weather phrase for today. "I didn't expect it to snow today." This is perfect for those surprising mornings when you wake up, look out the window, and suddenly see the world covered in white, even though the forecast didn't mention it. You can use this line when you meet someone at the bus stop or even while brushing snow off your car. It shows your surprise and invites the other person to share their own reaction. Say it with me. "I didn't expect it to snow today." Excellent. So that brings us to the end of our weather section. As you can see, talking about the weather gives you endless opportunities to connect, because it's always happening and it's always changing. Now let's move into another very common place for small talk, the workplace. Whether you work in an office, a shop, a classroom, or even from home during an online meeting, small talk at work plays a very important role. It's not just about filling silence, it's about building good relationships with colleagues, showing that you're approachable, and making the environment more comfortable and pleasant for everyone. Even short, light conversations can create a stronger sense of community and make daily work feel friendlier. So, let's go through some useful small talk starters you can use with coworkers or colleagues. The first one is, "Busy day?" It's short, simple, and very effective. You can use this when you pass someone in the hallway, meet them by the elevator, or share a moment at the coffee machine. This little phrase shows you care about their workload and opens the door for them to say either, "Yes, a lot to do today," or "Not too bad, actually." Either way, it creates a quick and friendly exchange. Repeat after me. "Busy day?" The next phrase is, "How's your project going?" This one shows genuine interest in what the other person is working on. Maybe you know they've been busy with a presentation, or you've seen them focused on a task for the past few days. Asking, "How's your project going?" tells them you care and that you're paying attention. It can lead to a longer conversation if they want to share details, or it can just be a quick moment of support. Let's say it together. How's your project going? And here's the third phrase. Did you catch the meeting this morning? This is a very natural way to bring up a meeting that happened earlier in the day. Maybe you want to confirm if they were present, or perhaps you missed something and hope they can fill you in. It's not only practical, but also a great opener for conversation in the workplace. Say it with me. Did you catch the meeting this morning?
Let's continue with a few more workplace expressions. These are simple, light-hearted phrases you can use at the office, in a shop, or even during virtual meetings. They're short, easy to remember, and they help create a warm, approachable atmosphere with colleagues. The next phrase is, "I could use another coffee." This is such a natural and relatable comment. We often say it when we're feeling a little tired, or when the day has been long and we need a quick boost of energy. It's not really about the coffee itself, it's about sharing a moment of exhaustion or humor with the people around you. Imagine standing near the coffee machine in the office, yawning just a little, and saying with a smile, "I could use another coffee." It usually makes others laugh or nod in agreement because almost everyone feels the same at some point during the day. Let's practice it together. I could use another coffee. The following one is, "Almost the weekend, huh?" This is a classic phrase for Thursdays and Fridays, when the week is coming to an end and people are starting to think about rest, fun, or family time. By saying this, you're not only reminding your colleague that the break is close, but you're also sharing in that sense of anticipation. It creates a light, positive energy because everyone looks forward to the weekend. Picture chatting with someone in the hallway late on a Friday afternoon. You smile and say, "Almost the weekend, huh?" And immediately you both feel that little boost of excitement. Repeat with me. "Almost the weekend, huh?" Next, we have, "Long day today." This phrase is perfect for moments when the workday feels heavy, full of meetings, tasks, or deadlines. It's not exactly a complaint, it's more like a gentle acknowledgement that the day has been demanding. You say it with a tone that's friendly rather than negative, and it invites the other person to agree or share how their day has been. For example, as you gather your things to leave the office in the evening, you might look at a colleague and say with a sigh, "Long day today." They'll understand immediately because they've been through the same. Say it with me. Long day today. Here's another phrase. "The office is quiet today." This works beautifully when there are fewer people around, maybe during a holiday week or simply on a day when things feel calmer than usual. It's a gentle observation, not heavy, not personal, just a simple way to break the silence and invite a bit of conversation. Imagine stepping into a half-empty office, noticing how peaceful it feels, and sharing that thought by saying, "The office is quiet today." It's light, it's friendly, and it often makes people respond with agreement. Let's practice together. The office is quiet today. Our next one is, "Got any plans after work?" This is a great way to show interest in someone's life outside of the workplace. It's not too personal, it's just a casual, friendly question. You might use it when you're walking out of the building with a colleague, or when the workday is wrapping up. Maybe they'll say, "Yes, I'm meeting some friends," or "I think I'll just go home and relax." Either way, it's an easy and natural way to connect. Repeat after me. Got any plans after work? The next phrase is, "That was a long meeting." Almost everyone can relate to this one, especially after sitting in a room or on a video call that lasted much longer than expected. It's a little comment that acknowledges what everyone is thinking, without sounding too negative. You might step out of the meeting room, stretch your arms, and say to the person next to you, "That was a long meeting." Usually it makes people smile or laugh because they felt exactly the same. Let's say it together. That was a long meeting. And finally, here's the last workplace phrase. Nice to see you in person. This one has become especially common since so much of our work moved online. It's what you say when you finally meet someone face-to-face after only seeing them on video calls or exchanging emails. It carries warmth, professionalism, and a genuine friendliness. For example, you meet a colleague for the first time at a conference after months of remote work, and you greet them with a smile. "Nice to see you in person." It instantly builds rapport and sets a positive tone. Let's practice. Nice to see you in person. Great job. You've now learned 10 practical workplace small talk starters. Each one is simple, easy to use, and perfect for creating stronger, friendlier connections in your work environment. Now, let's move on to an important everyday situation. Making small talk in public places. Think about the moments when you're surrounded by people you don't know well, at a cafe, sitting on a bus or a train, waiting in a doctor's office, standing in line at the supermarket, or even browsing around in a shop. These are all spaces where strangers naturally end up near each other.
You don't need to start a deep or very personal conversation. In fact, most of the time that would feel out of place. But a few kind, light, and simple words can break the silence, create a friendly atmosphere, and even open the door to a short but pleasant interaction. So let's look together at 10 small talk expressions that you can use in these everyday public situations. I'll explain the phrase, show you how to use it naturally, and then invite you to repeat it so you can practice your pronunciation. The first phrase is this seat taken? We usually say this when we'd like to sit down next to someone, for example, on a train, in a busy cafe, or in a waiting room. Instead of just sitting without asking, which might feel impolite, you show respect and consideration by using this phrase. It's short, clear, and shows good manners. Imagine you're carrying a coffee in a crowded coffee shop and spot an empty chair. You can simply turn to the person and say, "Is this seat taken?" It gives them the chance to answer, and usually they'll respond kindly. Now, let's practice together. Repeat after me. Is this seat taken? Here's another useful one. The line is moving slowly, huh? This is something you might say when you're standing in a queue at the supermarket, the airport, or maybe even waiting for tickets at the cinema. Everyone feels a little impatient when things move slowly. So this comment creates a sense of connection. You and the other person are sharing the same experience. The little "huh" at the end makes it sound friendly and conversational, almost like you're inviting the other person to agree. For example, you're waiting at the airport security line and things are dragging. You'd turn to the person behind you and say, "The line is moving slowly, huh?" This kind of phrase often makes people smile because they know exactly what you mean. Now, repeat with me. The line is moving slowly, huh? The next phrase is, busy place today. We use this when a location is more crowded than usual. A cafe filled with people, a shopping center that's buzzing, or even a public park on a sunny day. It's a very simple way of acknowledging the situation without needing a detailed topic. Imagine you're waiting for your coffee and notice the place is packed. You might say, "Busy place today." And often the other person will respond with something like, "Yeah, I've never seen it this full." That small interaction makes waiting feel shorter and friendlier. Now, let's say it together. Busy place today. Here's another one. I come here a lot. This phrase is especially useful in places you visit frequently, like your neighborhood cafe, a local gym, or even a library. By mentioning that you're a regular visitor, you invite the other person to respond or share their own experience. For instance, you might sit down with your coffee and casually say to someone nearby, "I come here a lot." Very often, they'll reply with something like, "Oh, really? I usually come in the mornings." And just like that, you've started a conversation. It's simple, natural, and shows interest in the environment you both share. Now, repeat after me. I come here a lot. The next expression is one of my favorites. Great coffee here. Why? Because people love talking about food and drinks. It's safe, it's positive, and it brings people together. If you're sitting in a cafe, enjoying your drink, this is a wonderful way to make a friendly remark. Saying, "Great coffee here," is like sharing a compliment with the place. and it often gets the other person nodding in agreement. They might even add their own opinion, like, "Yes, I love their cappuccino." That small exchange turns a quiet moment into a pleasant one. Now you try it with me. "Great coffee here." Let's go to another very practical one. "Do you know what time it closes?" This phrase is polite, useful, and works in many settings: shops, museums, public libraries, or even the gym. Even if you already know the answer, it's still a natural way to engage someone in conversation. For example, you're in a bookstore and you're not sure about the closing time. You can ask someone near you, "Do you know what time it closes?" Not only will you get the information you need, but you've also created an opportunity for a little interaction. Now, let's say it together. "Do you know what time it closes?" Here's another one you'll hear a lot. "Long wait today." This is the perfect phrase to use in situations where everyone is experiencing the same delay, like sitting in a doctor's office, waiting at the post office, or dealing with paperwork at a government office. By saying, "long wait today," you're expressing a shared feeling, something everyone can relate to. Most people will smile or nod in agreement because they're in the same situation. Sometimes they might even respond with their own comment, like, "Yeah, I've been here for almost an hour." This kind of small talk doesn't solve the waiting, but it does make it feel less heavy. Now, repeat after me. "Long wait today."
Another useful phrase for public places is, "It's my first time here." This is especially handy when you're visiting somewhere new, like a restaurant, a gym, or maybe even a park you've never been to before. By saying this, you let the other person know that you're not familiar with the place, which naturally invites them to respond, perhaps by giving you some advice or sharing their own experience. Imagine walking into a cozy little cafe for the first time. You order your drink, sit down, and notice someone nearby. You smile and say, "It's my first time here." Often people will respond with something like, "Oh, you'll love their muffins," or, "Yes, I come here often. The coffee is amazing." It's a very natural way to open the door to a friendly exchange without forcing the conversation. Now, let's practice together. Repeat after me. "It's my first time here." The next phrase is, "Nice place, isn't it?" This is a positive and light comment, perfect when you're in a comfortable, clean, or simply interesting location. It works almost anywhere, whether you're sitting in a modern cafe, exploring a museum, or even waiting in a park you've never been to before. By saying this, you let the other person know that you're not familiar with the place, which naturally invites them to respond, perhaps by giving you some advice or sharing their own experience. Imagine walking into a cozy little cafe for the first time. You order your drink, sit down, and notice someone nearby. You smile and say, "It's my first time here." Often, people will respond with something like, "Oh, you love their muffins," or, "Yes, I come here often. The coffee is amazing." It's a very natural way to open the door to a friendly exchange without forcing the conversation. Now, repeat after me. "Nice place, isn't it?" And finally, the last phrase for public places is, "Do you come here often?" This is one of the most classic small talk questions in English, and the reason it's so common is because it works well. You can use it in a cafe, at the gym, in a park, basically anywhere people might visit regularly. The phrase is polite, open-ended, and encourages the other person to share something about themselves. For example,
You could be sitting in a quiet cafe, and after ordering, you turn to someone nearby and say, "Do you come here often?" If they do, they might tell you what they like about the place, or even recommend what you should try. If they don't, it still leads to a light, friendly chat. It's a safe and effective way to begin small talk. Now, let's say it together. Do you come here often? All right, now let's move on to a new context, making small talk with neighbors. These are the people who live close to you, the ones you might see in the hallway, outside your house, or walking down the street. You may not know them very well, but it's always a good idea to be polite, show friendliness, and slowly build trust over time. Small talk with neighbors doesn't have to be long or complicated. In fact, most of the time it's short, casual, and light. But these small exchanges create a sense of community and make daily life feel warmer and more connected. Here's the first friendly phrase you can use with a neighbor. How is everything with you? This is a casual version of how are you, and it works perfectly when you meet someone outside by chance. It shows that you care about how they're doing, but it's not too formal. Imagine stepping out of your home and seeing your neighbor getting into their car. You can smile and say, "How is everything with you?" Usually they'll respond with something simple like, "Good, thanks, and you?" It's an easy way to maintain a polite and friendly relationship, even if you don't have time for a longer conversation. Now, repeat with me. How is everything with you? Here's another one. Your garden looks great. This is a compliment, and giving compliments is a wonderful way to connect with people. When you notice something nice about your neighbor's home, maybe their garden, their balcony, or even the way they decorated for a holiday, mentioning it shows that you pay attention and appreciate their effort. For example, you're walking past your neighbor's house and you see their roses blooming beautifully. You can say, "Your garden looks great." This simple remark will usually make them smile, and they might even thank you and start talking about how much time they spend taking care of it. Compliments like this strengthen goodwill and build positive connections. Now, let's practice. Your garden looks great. And here's the next one. Lovely day for a walk, isn't it? This is something you can say when you see a neighbor outside, maybe walking their dog, jogging, or just coming back from the park. It's a light and cheerful comment about the weather, and since everyone experiences the same weather, it's a safe and universal topic. For example, you're walking down the street on a sunny morning, you see your neighbor, and you say with a smile, "Lovely day for a walk, isn't it?" They'll usually agree, and that short exchange creates a friendly moment between you. Weather small talk may seem simple, but it's one of the most natural ways to connect with people in English. Now, repeat after me. Lovely day for a walk, isn't it?
Another very common phrase you can use with neighbors is, "Did you just move in?" This question is perfect when you notice someone new in your neighborhood. Maybe you see a moving truck, or you notice that a house that used to be empty now has lights on and new people coming in. By asking, "Did you just move in?" you show curiosity, but also kindness and a welcoming attitude. It's a polite way to let the new neighbor know that you've noticed them and that you're open to starting a friendly relationship. For example, you see someone carrying boxes into the house next door. You smile and say, "Did you just move in?" Usually people will answer something like, "Yes, just last week." And that gives you the chance to continue with another friendly comment, such as, "Welcome to the neighborhood." These small exchanges are the first step to building trust and a sense of community. Now, repeat with me. Did you just move in?
Here's another one you can use. Let me know if you ever need anything. This is a wonderful phrase to say, especially to someone new on your street. It's not only small talk, it's also an offer of help. By saying this, you show that you're approachable and ready to lend a hand if necessary. Maybe you mean lending them some tools, giving them information about local services, or simply being there if they need advice about the area. Imagine meeting your new neighbor while they're unpacking boxes. After a short chat, you add, "Let me know if you ever need anything." Even if they don't ask for help right away, they'll remember your kindness. This kind of comment builds goodwill and makes the neighborhood feel friendlier. Now, you repeat, "Let me know if you ever need anything." The next phrase is a bit more playful. "I think we have the same delivery driver." This is the kind of small talk that works perfectly in today's world where online shopping and food deliveries are part of everyday life. If you often see the same delivery van stopping at both your house and your neighbor's, it's a funny and relatable way to start a conversation. You might say, "I think we have the same delivery driver," when you see your neighbor picking up a package. They'll probably laugh and agree, and from there you can have a light conversation about online shopping, favorite restaurants, or even how often deliveries seem to arrive. It's casual, it's modern, and it connects you through a shared experience. Now, let's practice. "I think we have the same delivery driver." Here's a very practical one. Do you know when the bins go out? This is a useful question, especially if you're new to the area and you're not sure about the local schedule for trash or recycling collection. It might not sound like much, but it's actually one of the most common small talk starters between neighbors. Imagine you've just moved in and you notice your neighbor outside. You can say, "Do you know when the bins go out?" Not only do you get helpful information, but you also create an opportunity for a longer chat. It's a simple, natural way to start a conversation that feels both polite and practical. Now, repeat after me. "Do you know when the bins go out?" Here's another warm and friendly phrase. "Your cat is so cute." Compliments about pets are a wonderful way to connect with people because most pet owners love when others notice and appreciate their animals. If your neighbor has a cat sitting in the window, or maybe you see their cat outside, you can say, "Your cat is so cute." This not only makes your neighbor happy, but it also opens the door to a longer conversation. It's a simple compliment, but it shows kindness and attention to detail. Now you repeat. "Your cat is so cute." Another one you can use is, "Feels like the whole street is quiet today." This is something you might say on a calm afternoon or evening when there's less activity in the neighborhood than usual. Maybe there's no traffic, no children playing, and everything feels peaceful. By mentioning it, you're making a shared observation that your neighbor can easily agree with. For example, you're both outside and you say, "Feels like the whole street is quiet today." They might respond with, "Yes, it's unusually calm." And suddenly you have a conversation going. Observations like this are small, but they create connection. Now, repeat, "Feels like the whole street is quiet today." And finally, let's look at this phrase. "Good to see you again." This is warm, polite, and very flexible. You can use it whenever you see a neighbor you've met before, even if you don't know them well. It shows recognition, friendliness, and respect. Imagine you're going out for a walk and you pass by your neighbor. You smile and say, "Good to see you again." It makes the other person feel acknowledged and welcomed, even without a long conversation. Over time, greetings like this build familiarity and comfort between you and the people living nearby. Now, repeat after me. "Good to see you again."
Now let's move on to another very common situation: social events. When I say social events,
I mean parties, family dinners, weddings, office gatherings, or any kind of occasion where people come together to relax, talk, and enjoy each other's company. These moments can sometimes feel a little intimidating, especially if you don't know many people there. But here's the good news. You don't need to be extremely funny, clever, or have something extraordinary to say. What really matters is simply starting the conversation with a friendly phrase. Just one sentence is enough to break the ice, create connection, and invite the other person to talk. Let's go through some natural and useful examples you can use in these moments. The first one is, "Hi, I'm Peter. What's your name?" Of course, you will use your name instead of mine. This is the most direct and clear way to meet someone new. Think about it. You're at a party. You see someone you've never met. You smile. You extend your hand or just nod politely and say, "Hi, I'm Peter. What's your name?" It may sound simple, but simplicity is often the most effective tool. This phrase immediately shows that you're open to talking and that you respect the other person enough to learn their name. From there, the conversation can continue naturally. Now, repeat with me. "Hi, I'm Peter. What's your name?" The second one is, "How do you know the host?" This question works beautifully at parties, weddings, or any event where there's a clear host or organizer. Asking someone, "How do you know the host?" is polite and shows genuine interest. Maybe they are family, maybe they are colleagues, or maybe they're just friends. Either way, it gives the person the chance to explain their connection, and that usually leads to more conversation. For example, you're at a wedding and you say to the person next to you, "How do you know the couple?" That one simple question can turn into a whole conversation about family, work, or even funny stories. Now, repeat after me. How do you know the host? Here's another one. Have you been here before? This phrase is perfect for almost any social situation. It works if you're at a venue like a restaurant, a bar, a conference hall, or even at someone's home. By asking, "Have you been here before?" you invite the other person to share their experience. Maybe they'll say, "Yes, I come here often," or maybe, "No, it's my first time." In both cases, the conversation naturally continues. It's an easy, gentle way to connect with someone nearby without forcing the conversation. Now, repeat with me. Have you been here before? The next one is a compliment. "I love your outfit." Compliments are a wonderful tool in small talk because they make the other person feel good and appreciated. By saying, "I love your outfit," you're showing that you noticed their effort, their style, or simply something positive about their appearance. Maybe it's a dress, a jacket, or even just the color combination they chose. Compliments open the door to more interaction and almost always create a positive reaction. Just remember, keep it sincere. Now, let's say it together. I love your outfit. Another safe and easy option is, "The food is amazing, isn't it?" This is a classic because everybody notices the food at social events. Whether it's a wedding banquet, a dinner party, or even a buffet at work. Commenting on the food is something everyone can relate to. By saying, "The food is amazing, isn't it?" you're not only starting a light conversation, but you're also inviting the other person to agree and share their opinion. Food is universal. It's one of those topics that connects people immediately. Now, repeat after me. The food is amazing, isn't it? Here's another one you'll find useful. Is it always this busy here? This works when you're at a crowded venue, like a bar, a party, or a reception, and the place is full of people. It's an easy way to start talking about the event or the location. For example, if you're at a conference and the room is packed, you can turn to the person next to you and say, "Is it always this busy here?" They might tell you it's unusual, or they might confirm that it's always like that. And just like that, you've started a conversation. Now, repeat with me. Is it always this busy here?
And finally, for this part, I think we've met before. This is a phrase you can use when someone looks familiar, but you're not completely sure where you've seen them. Saying, "I think we've met before," is polite and opens the door for the other person to clarify. Maybe we met at another event, maybe at work, or maybe you're just mistaken, but either way, it starts a friendly exchange. It also shows that you're paying attention and trying to make a connection. Now, let's practice together. I think we've met before.
Now you repeat. I think we've met before. Excellent. Let's move forward to the next phrase. The next one is, where are you from? This is one of the most common and friendliest questions we can ask when meeting someone for the first time. It opens the door to learning more about a person's background, culture, or even hometown. A simple question like this can make people feel valued because it shows that you are curious about their story and identity. Sometimes this short question leads to long and interesting conversations, perhaps about where they grew up, their traditions, or even the similarities and differences between your experiences and theirs. It's warm, it's open, and it almost always invites a positive response. Now you repeat after me. Where are you from? Great work. Let's keep moving. Here's another very natural one. What do you do? This is a classic question used all around the world in social events and casual conversations. It's short, polite, and effective. With these three words, you're inviting someone to share about their job, career, or even what they do in their daily life. It doesn't necessarily have to be only about work. It can also be about studies, projects, or personal passions. It shows that you are genuinely interested in their life and gives them the opportunity to talk about something that often defines them. Many people enjoy explaining what they do, and it can lead to deeper discussions about interests, skills, or even shared professional fields. Now, you repeat after me. What do you do? Excellent. And now, let's close this category with a very warm and polite phrase. Great to meet you. This is the perfect way to end a short conversation with someone new. It's friendly, respectful, and leaves a good impression. Even if you don't talk for long, finishing with "great to meet you" shows kindness and creates a sense of connection. It's like saying, "I'm glad we crossed paths today." A small phrase, but with a lot of impact, because people always remember how we made them feel, even more than the words we used. Now, your turn. Great to meet you. Small talk in everyday places. Now let's move into another very common category. Small talk in everyday places. This includes casual encounters in shops, supermarkets, coffee shops, or bakeries, places we often go to as part of our routine. Even in these simple moments, a short and friendly comment can make the atmosphere feel warmer and more human. Think about it. When we're waiting in line, ordering coffee, or paying at the cashier, a single sentence can turn a routine interaction into a pleasant experience. So here are some useful and natural small talk starters you can try. The first one is, busy today, isn't it? We use this phrase when a shop or cafe is crowded and full of people. It's a very safe and light way to start a conversation because it's an observation that most people will agree with. It doesn't require a complicated answer, just a smile, a nod, or a short reply like, "Yes, it is." But even so, this little exchange can make the moment friendlier and show that you are approachable. Now you repeat, "Busy today, isn't it?" Next up, we have, "I love the coffee here." This is a simple but very effective sentence. When you say this, you're expressing appreciation for the quality of the coffee in that cafe or restaurant. It's not only a compliment to the place, but also an invitation for others to agree or share their own opinion. Maybe they'll say, "Yes, it's the best in town," or maybe they'll recommend another drink. Either way, it opens a small but pleasant doorway into conversation. Now it's your turn. "I love the coffee here." You're doing great. Let's go to the next one. "Have you tried the cake here?" This is an excellent small talk phrase, especially in cafes or bakeries. By asking this question, you're not only inviting an opinion, but also showing curiosity and interest in the other person's experience. Food is a universal topic, and people often enjoy talking about it. If they have tried the cake, they might recommend it to you. If they haven't, you've planted an idea for them to try it next time. Either way, it's a light and cheerful conversation starter. Now repeat after me. "Have you tried the cake here?" Here's another one that works really well. "They've changed the menu." This is something you can say when you notice new dishes, drinks, or even price changes at a cafe or restaurant you often visit. It's a small but interesting observation that immediately creates connection, especially with regular customers or staff. Many people like to share their thoughts about what's new, whether they like the changes or prefer the old menu. It's a natural way to create interaction without forcing a conversation. Now you repeat. "They've changed the menu." And finally, for this part, we have a very practical one. "Do you take card?" This is a polite and useful question to ask before paying, especially if you're not sure whether the shop accepts card payments. While it is mainly a functional phrase, it's also an easy way to interact with the cashier. Sometimes a simple question like this opens space for a short but friendly exchange, making the moment feel less transactional and more human. Now your turn. "Do you take card?"
Next up, we have the phrase, "The smell in here is amazing." This is such a natural and warm expression to use when you walk into a place like a cafe, bakery, or even a restaurant where the aroma is strong and pleasant. Think about the smell of freshly brewed coffee, warm bread just out of the oven, or pastries filled with chocolate or cinnamon. It's hard to not notice, right? Saying "the smell in here is amazing" is not just about describing what you feel. It's also about showing appreciation. People love to hear that their shop, cafe, or bakery makes a great impression. And this simple comment often brings a smile to the staff or even to another customer nearby. It's positive, light, and it creates connection instantly. Now repeat after me. "The smell in here is amazing." Great. Let's continue with another useful phrase. "Any recommendations?" This one is extremely practical, and it's a fantastic way to invite conversation. When you ask, "Any recommendations?" you are showing that you trust the other person's opinion, whether it's the staff behind the counter or even another customer waiting in line. It works beautifully when you're not sure what to order, or when you want to try something new but don't know where to start. People usually enjoy sharing their favorites, so this simple question can lead to a nice exchange, and you might even discover a hidden gem on the menu. Now, your turn. Any recommendations? Perfect. Now let's look at another phrase. I always get the same thing. This is what you say when you're a regular customer and you usually stick to one favorite order. It's a friendly way of sharing your habit and showing that you come often to that cafe or shop. For example, maybe you always order the same cappuccino or the same sandwich or even the same slice of cake every single time. This can be a fun little detail to share with the staff. They might even recognize you as the cappuccino person or the cheesecake person. It creates a sense of familiarity and comfort, and it can even start a conversation about whether you've ever thought about trying something different. Now repeat after me. I always get the same thing. Let's move on to the next one. It's my first time here. This phrase is very useful when you are visiting a cafe, a shop, or a restaurant for the very first time. It lets people know that you're new and perhaps open to suggestions. Often, when staff hear this, they might recommend something special on the menu or guide you toward the most popular choices. It's also a natural way to break the ice with other customers who might share their own experiences. A simple sentence like this not only gives information about you, but it also opens the door for others to engage with you. Now repeat after me. It's my first time here. And now we finish this category with a phrase that leaves a really positive impression. Have a great day. This is something you say as you leave the counter, after paying or as you head out the door. It's polite, cheerful, and spreads positivity. Even though it's short, it's powerful because it leaves people feeling good after interacting with you. Staff members especially appreciate it because it shows kindness and respect, and other customers may also respond with a smile. Ending a short interaction with "Have a great day" adds a touch of friendliness that makes everyday life a little brighter. Now repeat after me. Have a great day. Small talk in travel. Now, let's shift to another very common situation. Small talk while traveling. Whether you are on a train, a bus, a plane, or even in a taxi, there are often moments when you're sitting next to someone you don't know. Sometimes it's just for a few minutes, other times it could be for several hours. In these moments, a short and friendly sentence can make the experience feel lighter and more comfortable. It's not about having a long conversation, but simply about making the atmosphere pleasant. So let's look at some small talk starters you can use while traveling. The first one is this seat free? This is a polite and respectful way to ask before sitting down. Instead of just taking the seat, asking shows consideration for the other person. It's useful not only on trains, but also in waiting areas, airports, or buses, where seats may be occupied or reserved. It's a very short phrase, but it communicates politeness and awareness of the space around you. Now, repeat after me. Is this seat free? Excellent. Let's move to the next phrase. Do you know when we arrive? This is a very practical question to ask when you are unsure about the time of arrival or the length of the journey. It works perfectly to start a small exchange with another passenger, especially if you're traveling in a new place or if you don't have access to information yourself. Most people are happy to help and will give you the answer if they know, or at least share what they've heard. It's a light and natural way to connect during the trip. Now, repeat after me. Do you know when we arrive? And here's another useful one. Is this the right platform for the train to London? This is especially common at train stations or even airports where you want to double-check your direction. Asking someone nearby can give you peace of mind and sometimes even save you from going the wrong way. It's not only practical, but also a polite way to interact with others in a shared travel situation. People often appreciate the chance to help, and sometimes these questions can lead to a short and friendly chat about where you're both headed. Now, your turn. Is this the right platform for the train to London? Perfect. Another really useful phrase you can use while traveling is long journey ahead. This is a simple way of acknowledging that the trip you're about to take will take some time. You might say it as you sit down on a train that will last several hours, or when you board a plane for an international flight. It's a light-hearted comment, but it shows that you're aware of the situation and willing to share that moment with the person sitting near you. Often, when you say, "long journey ahead," the other person will respond with agreement, maybe mentioning how far they're going or how they usually pass the time. It's not a deep conversation, but it creates an easy entry point into small talk during travel. Now, repeat after me. Long journey ahead. Great. Let's look at the next one. Do you travel often? This question is casual, friendly, and works especially well if you've already exchanged a few words with someone. It's a way of showing curiosity about the other person's lifestyle. For example, they might tell you they travel every week for work, or maybe only once a year for vacation. Either way, this question opens the door for them to share their story. And many people enjoy talking about their travel experiences. It's not intrusive, but it creates space for a conversation that can keep the journey more interesting. Now, repeat after me. Do you travel often? Excellent. Here's another one that feels very human and relatable. I always forget something when I travel. This is almost like a confession that many people can instantly connect with. Who hasn't forgotten a phone charger, a toothbrush, or even a pair of socks when packing? By saying this, you are not only making a light-hearted comment, but also inviting the other person to share their own funny or frustrating travel stories. It's a universal truth. No matter how prepared we are, there's always something left behind. And that shared experience can spark a short, warm conversation with a fellow traveler. Now, repeat after me. I always forget something when I travel. Perfect. Now let's go to the next one. Have you flown with this airline before? This is particularly useful when you're waiting at the gate or already sitting on the plane. It's a polite way to start a conversation by showing interest in the other person's experience. They might tell you whether the service is good, if the seats are comfortable, or if the meals are better on one flight than another. It's practical because you may even learn something useful about the airline, but it's also social because it shows that you value the opinion of the person next to you. Now, repeat after me. Have you flown with this airline before? Great. Here's another common one during travel. I hope there are no delays. This is something almost everyone thinks about while waiting for a train, a bus, or a flight. Nobody likes delays, and sharing this thought is an easy way to bond with someone nearby. It expresses a shared wish that everything goes smoothly. And since delays are such a universal travel experience, it often leads to small conversations about past trips, waiting times, or funny stories from previous journeys. Now, repeat after me. I hope there are no delays. Let's move on to the next phrase. Is this your stop too? This one is especially handy on buses or trains when people are getting ready to leave. It's a casual question that shows you are aware of your surroundings and also gives the other person a chance to respond. Sometimes this can lead to discovering that you're both heading to the same place, which creates an instant connection. It's simple, polite, and perfectly suited for short journeys. Now, repeat after me. Is this your stop too? And finally, let's end this travel category with a very warm and respectful phrase, safe travels. This is what you say when someone is about to leave. It's short, but it carries a lot of meaning. It shows that you care about their journey and that you wish them well, whether it's a short trip home or a long international flight. Ending an interaction with safe travels leaves a positive impression, and it's one of those universal expressions that makes people feel appreciated and respected. Now, repeat after me. Safe travels.
Small talk about the weekend. Conversations about the weekend are one of the most natural and easy ways to connect with other people. Think about it. Everyone has a weekend, and everyone has either done something or chosen not to do much at all. That's why it's such a universal and friendly topic. Talking about weekends helps us build connections at work, at school, with neighbors, or even when meeting someone new. It is light, casual, and doesn't require deep knowledge. It's just about sharing personal experiences or showing curiosity about someone else's. In fact, asking or talking about the weekend is often the first step to making small talk feel less awkward and more enjoyable. When you bring up the weekend, you can talk about your own plans, or you can ask about theirs. Sometimes it's before the weekend, and you want to know what someone is planning to do. Other times, it's after the weekend, and you want to reconnect by asking how it went. Either way, these small exchanges can open the door to longer conversations, strengthen relationships, and make communication smoother. Let's look at some useful phrases people use when talking about the weekend. Got any plans for the weekend? This is a very common question we ask on a Thursday or Friday, when the weekend is just around the corner. It's a polite and friendly way to show interest in the other person's life. Even if you don't know them very well, this question works because it's neutral. It doesn't feel too personal, but it still invites the other person to share something. Maybe they're going to visit family. Maybe they're planning a trip. Or maybe they just want to rest. Whatever the answer, you now have something to continue the conversation with. Now you repeat. Got any plans for the weekend? How was your weekend? This is the perfect question for Monday mornings when people are coming back to work or school. It's a way to reconnect after a couple of days apart. We use it to show that we care about the other person's life outside of work. Sometimes the answer is short. Good, thanks. But sometimes people will tell you about what they did in detail, which makes it a great way to keep the conversation going. Now you repeat. How was your weekend? Did you do anything fun? This question usually comes after asking about the weekend in general. If someone says, "It was okay," you can use this phrase to dig a little deeper and learn more. It's open-ended and positive because it focuses on fun activities, which most people enjoy talking about. Even if the answer is not really, that still keeps the conversation honest and natural. Now you repeat. Did you do anything fun? I just relaxed at home. Sometimes weekends are not about going out or doing exciting activities. Sometimes they are about resting and enjoying quiet time. This phrase is great when you want to describe a calm weekend without making it sound boring. It also shows that it's perfectly normal to take a break and recharge. Many people will relate to this kind of answer, which can make the conversation feel more authentic. Now you repeat. I just relaxed at home. It went by so fast. We often feel like weekends are shorter than they should be, and this phrase is a simple way to express that feeling. It's a comment many people can agree with, which makes it a safe and friendly choice in small talk. By saying this, you are not only describing your weekend, but also sharing a common experience that others are likely to respond to with agreement. Now you repeat. It went by so fast. I didn't do much, really. This phrase is another way of saying that the weekend was quiet or uneventful. It's honest, simple, and doesn't require much explanation. Sometimes we just don't feel like doing anything big, and that's okay. This expression allows you to participate in small talk without pretending that you did something exciting. It also invites the other person to share, often leading to a relaxed and natural exchange. Now you repeat. I didn't do much, really. I caught up on sleep. For many people, weekends are the perfect opportunity to rest and recover from a busy week. This phrase tells others that you spent time sleeping more than usual, and it's something most people can understand and even appreciate. Talking about sleep might not sound exciting, but because it is so relatable, it can create a moment of connection. Almost everyone knows the feeling of needing to recharge. Now you repeat. I caught up on sleep. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. Today we explored how simple weekend phrases can help you start small talk, build connections, and sound more natural in English. These expressions may seem short, but they are powerful tools for communication. Remember, small talk isn't about saying something deep. It's about showing interest, being friendly, and creating opportunities to connect. So next time you meet a colleague on Monday morning or chat with a neighbor on Friday evening, try using these phrases. The more you practice, the more confident you will feel. Small talk may be short, but it plays a big role in helping you feel comfortable in English conversations. This is English Uncovered with Peter. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and most importantly, keep believing in yourself. Until next time.